Hi, it's Michelle, and I am first of all hoping that this doesn't shut off. So I'm gonna talk just a little bit, just to make sure that this live recording doesn't shut off, because I'm still having a few little technical difficulties with it. So far, so good. So anyway, hey, it's Michelle Spiva, and I am coming to you at day number 14 of my Leader of One self-leadership project. This is preparation. And so today I am talking about tactics. It is tactics time. Yes. This is day number 14, and this is ending the second week. And so because of that, I'm moving in, and if you're following along with me and doing this too, we're moving into the concentration stage. So when we started out with clarification, and getting simplified in what we wanted to do. And that first week was all about getting our minds around the project, all about figuring out what was important and what wasn't, and basically coming up with your first iteration, my first iteration of strategy. This next week, this week that we're ending now, has been about commitment. And the commitment has been to start to practice, start to see what's good, and get feedback, looking at readjusting the vision, making note of what we do, or any patterns or anything like that. And I don't know about you, but this week has been very frustrating. Very frustrating. And it's been very frustrating because even with my best intentions of following my schedule, things inevitably have been coming up to throw me off a little bit. And so I've been having to fight for it. And so in all honesty, my sleep has not been as scheduled as I'd like, or as I know I need it to be. So that's another thing that I'm going to be working on, trying to get a good rhythm for when I go to bed and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know if it's guilt. I don't know what it is, but feeling like I have to try to finish this stuff before I go to bed, and then going to bed really late. So anyway, that's just one of the things. But today I want to talk about tactics, and the reason why I want to talk about tactics is because moving into this next phase of concentration, that's a muscle that you can't just say, oh, I'm going to do something, and then you do it. What we've been doing these last few weeks, what I've been doing, is getting clear, then working on my commitment, the practice of it. Hey, Bobby. The practice of what it looks like to do what I said I was going to do. And the idea was not to take too much guilt out of my failures. But I mean, let's just be honest, that's kind of how I am. And so just really trying to work through that this week, going through my feedback sessions with my masterminds and taking that feedback and applying it and looking at it and working through, and actually doing a little self-forgiveness of, oh man, I didn't get done with all the things I thought I would get done. And so having to go back, eat a little humble pie, and readjust realistically what I can produce with the resources, the skill set, and the abilities I have right now. So that has been what's been going on since day 1 through day 13. And so now I'm going to be working on what it looks like to concentrate on the stuff that works. Thank you. It is, self-forgiveness is a good thing. Yeah. And because I am doing this in an open forum, in an accountability kind of setting, that was another thing I told myself I was going to be honest and open and vulnerable, even that I missed the mark. It's not easy. And I mean, it's like kind of like I caught myself this morning, like, I only have 2 weeks and I haven't gotten done what I need to do. Now for you, it might be like, you're crazy. But yeah, I'm trying to write and finish 2 books. I have other stuff that I'm doing. I still have to bring in income and all of these different things that we juggle. And I mean, my process and what I've said I need and want to do is no better, no bigger than anybody else's. It's just, that's where I am and that's what's happening. And I'm gonna be honest with you, being accountable and knowing I have to come before you each day and let you know honestly what's going on with me and articulate it in a way that you get it too. That's been a growing kind of thing for me, and it's been taking me through some unexpected feelings that I'm learning from, that I'm not letting them get the better of me, but I'm learning from them. So let me talk about tactics. It is time for tactics. So the first 2 weeks we have been working with all about strategy, all about practicing what it looks like and finding our footing. And so it's okay if you still feel like you need some more time. I still feel like I need some more time to get it done. But with that, I also know that I need to put a little more pressure on what I'm doing, lest I end the month with not having really a lot accomplished. So what are tactics? This first 2 weeks was all about learning how to become a strategist, learning what strategy worked best for us. For me, that was me learning my different times that I'm more productive, learning where I am, reassessing what I'm realistically able to produce in a given day with all things considered, looking at my tendencies. We talked about that. Reaffirming what is my why? Why am I even doing this? And just going through a lot of stuff and making sure that I was aware of the difference between the activation energy that I needed and the implementation energy that it's going to take to get this done. So now that I have more data, it's time to do tactics. And so with that, I want to talk about a few things. I mentioned it yesterday, talking about scientific method and how I took that for granted. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it today. So the scientific method is, I guess you guys could tell I was a chemistry major in college. Scientific method is you come up with a hypothesis. And the hypothesis is a statement that you want to prove or disprove. And a lot of times with the scientific side, it's an if-then statement. If this exists, then that will occur. Or if this happens, then that. Or whatever it may be. The hypothesis statement for your life could be something as simple as, if I want to lose weight, then I need to figure out the best eating and exercise program. Or, no, not that. Sorry. If I want to lose weight, I will do X, Y, and Z, eating and exercise program. And then you go and you try to prove or disprove that hypothesis. So that means if you say this month, I want to lose healthy 10 to 12 pounds, and I'm going to use the cabbage diet or the cayenne pepper diet, and you start that off, and you may lose some weight, but it's hard to sustain. Your body doesn't like it. It's a traumatic process. Then you take that new data, you analyze it, and based on that new data, you make a decision, and you start over. So the process is such that this is what it looks like in my life. I take what I say I'm going to do and I start testing it out. Now, the process is this: hypothesis, right? Then you make an analysis, you make a decision, and you act. Now, the hypothesis, analysis, decision can be really short, and the action can be long. But a lot of people will make a hypothesis, they'll do their analysis, and analysis includes gathering what you need for your diet or whatever it may be. And then they never do the part after they make the decision that's important, that is the action. I talked about action being expensive yesterday because it is part of a commitment and it's irreversible. Once you pull the trigger and you start acting, you are on a forward momentum to get something done. So with scientific method, the reason why I'm even bringing it up is because some people just need a container to figure out what you're doing, to help with the scattered mind. That was one of the things that I thought I had conquered, and that thing slid back in. And so that's another reason why I'm putting containers around how I'm approaching this, so I don't take and bite off too much, because that was another thing. True honesty here, being overly optimistic with what I could do. Taking on too much, spinning too many plates. And so doing it this way with one hypothesis, one statement, and then testing it out with the action, and then looking at, did this work? Could I do it better? Do I need to change it up? That moves you into, guess what? Tactics. So your strategy is contained in the hypothesis, gathering all the analysis and data that you need for it, and then even making the decision of how you're going to approach it. The tactics are take over from the approach on to the action. And I just want to let you know, because yeah, we know this from an information kind of standpoint. Hey, Amy. Hey, Adrian. We know this from oh, thank you. I will do that. Thank you. We know this from a mental standpoint, but not necessarily an application. And the application is this: tactics work. It depends on which tactic works when. For instance, Facebook. Facebook is great. I'm using Facebook right now. If you want to reach a lot of people, Facebook is a great tactic. But if you are looking for people to do something, maybe come to your house for something, maybe you use an email, maybe you use an Evite, maybe you use another social media where you're going to talk to people that are more intimate, that you want to share that with, because that's the tactic that is called for. But the only way you get there is first by developing the strategy and the hypothesis, if you will, of what you're going to do. So let me just recap that real quick, because I have another thing I need to talk to you about, and I'm like, man, I'm talking a lot today. This is really getting away from me. So what I want to say is this: the first couple of weeks in this leader of one, being a self-leader, leading myself, doing things that make it simple for me to follow what I said I was going to do, it looked like this. I got clear. I'm still getting clarity. I don't think you ever get through with clarity and refinement. Then I started working on commitment. Every day, no matter what the flesh says, no matter what the feelings say, because I said I was going to do it, I'm doing it. And now coming into the third week of this, working on what it looks like to be able to be concentrated in the action of doing. And that's why we're looking at tactics. How are we going to get this done? What has either won so far as a viable way to get something done, or what are the things we're going to try to do to get things done? For me, I've been playing around with different times of when I'm writing the different books. And I'm going to actually switch, because I'm writing more on the shorter than I am on the longer book. And so I learned that this week through being committed to do it, so that I could figure out what's going to work. And so my hypothesis is I want to get these books done, and I have 2 other things that I want to get done this month. And so because of that, and because I'm testing it out, I got new data, and that new data is showing me which tactics that I need to run now. Now, am I going to work on these tactics all week? No, I'm going to work on the ones that give me good, fast, effective feedback And I'm not going to be married to one to hammer it out. Oh, this isn't working, but I'm going to try some more. No, because I've been working enough during the commitment stage of this last week to be okay with moving to a different tactic if it doesn't work, because I'm already committed. I know I'm going to get this project done. I am just looking for that sweet spot of effective efficiency to get it done. So with that being said, I'm very grateful and thankful to everyone. Thank you for the people who have reached out to me privately. Thank you for the people who are in the group. Thank you for the YouTube listeners and subscribers who are on this journey with me. I really appreciate this, because guess what? We got 16 more days. So we're not even at the halfway point until tomorrow. But I do want to say, today, tomorrow, start looking at the tactics you use. These are the recipes. These are the steps that you're going to use to really start making headway on what you said you're going to do. So this week is about seeing productivity. See, this is part of that implementation. Last week we worked on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Michelle, go. To get stuff done, part of the commitment. Now we're moving into concentration. Concentration takes a little more skill. It takes more muscle. It takes more self-reliance and determination to do it. And so because of that, this is going to be focused on, now that I'm clear on what I'm doing, how am I doing it? What are the steps? What is the recipe that's going to work successfully for me to get this done? And I'm going to say, this last part that I want to make certain of, reason backwards. Again, I got that from the book I mentioned yesterday, A Spy's Guide to Thinking. Reason backwards. Go to where you're at the end. Pretend, imagine, visualize what it looks like to have obtained the goal that you are setting out to do in this self-leadership practice. And if you don't have one, you need to get one. Get one fast, because you need to know what the benchmark is, what the success point looks like. Draw it out, write it out, find a picture, put it on a vision board, whatever you got to do, but make it concrete and clear so that you know where you're going. All right? And then, hey, Kara, and once you do that, then I want you to reason back. Start there. So for me, it looks like this. My 2 books are published. What does that mean? That means that I need book covers. They're made. I made them this last, few weeks. What does that also look like? That looks like I've got a line of editing done. What else does that look like? That looks like I have to write the books, working on it. What else does that look like? It looks like I've got to have my marketing stuff. Not done yet, but will be done, because it is in my periphery that next week, after this upcoming week, I got to start working on that. So I got to be bringing the writing part back. And then the writing part, what does that look like today? That looks like the number count, the word count that I am looking to reach today to be able to finish up these books, then move into getting my marketing materials together, then move into sending everything to be edited, and then moving into getting everything uploaded. That is an example of reasoning backward. Start with where the goal is and then work back. Okay, so that's where we are. I hope this has helped somebody. Please, Lord, I hope this has helped somebody, because this is what I'm doing. If you have feedback, if you are joining me, if you are finding different ways to do it even more effectively, I welcome that. This is a community effort. That's why I'm doing it out in the open. And, I don't necessarily feel like I'm all that productive, but people are like, how do you get stuff done? And I figured, hey, I'll just show you how I work through and get stuff done. Okay, so I will talk to y'all, guess when? Tomorrow. If you're in the group, I'll see you in the group. And thank you so much for everyone's love and all of that. If you are just along for the ride and you want to support, the Patreon link is in the description too. To join the group, I will update that, Adrian, to join the group. The link is in the description. And guess what? I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks so much. Mwah! Bye.